Like the song is alive, and the song wants to be what it wants to be. And so we can't let our will impose itself on that. I think a lot of the only person that ultimately knows is the artist. And that's the goal. It's like, as long as you're in alignment with the artist and you're checking in with them and they feel like this is the most authentic representation of themselves and their story, that's the ultimate goal, So what I would do as an artist or what I think doesn't matter, right? And when you're in that flow with somebody else, I think like naturally everything just starts to come together. You're not overthinking it. You're not trying to impose your will on it.
Yeah. Do you ever have to have like a conversation with an artist and do you ever try to convince them something that you think is, have like a really, like, let's say you have like a really strong opinion about something that they want to do and you don't think it's the right direction. Are they always right? Do you have a conversation about it? Do you like, what does that look like?
I think it's important to always try, no matter what. It's when you're in that creative process, there is no right or wrong answer until it's there for you to observe. So I always try every idea. I'm not opposed, even if I don't think it's necessarily gonna for me, not gonna work. I've been proven wrong so many times, so I've learned to just be open to what that is, And I think the more that you do that, the less quote unquote controlling you are about things, like and you don't care where the idea comes from. It's just got to be the right idea for what this project is. So yeah, I try not to get in the way of anything like that. The only time I kind of will run into resistance, and this is where the trust factor comes in, is when we're going back to one of those things that the artist has identified as like a personal thing that they want to go through. There's usually a personal journey that an artist goes through in making an album and an evolution or a breakthrough that needs to occur. Because the majority of the artists that I work with, it's like you're trying to evolve as artists, right? And what they're doing, we're all evolving just as human beings. So naturally your art is going to be a reflection of your evolution as a human soul.
Or maybe you're working through some therapy or something like that,
Well, and that's the other part of the job, right? So usually I'll come into these situations where an artist will be in a vulnerable state and I'll be like, you should try this. And then they'll be like scared to try that thing. But I do think like there are ways to kind of help facilitate artists through those difficult, kind of moments. And a lot of the time that's where the breakthroughs happen, right? It's in that vulnerability and taking that leap that these massive evolutions take place. So those are the moments I really like to spend time on. Because I think also as producers, as outsiders, we can observe an artist and see potentials that they might not be aware of. And so it's also a matter of being observant enough to catch when those moments are, so that you can push gently and holistically. Like, I don't believe in pushing people against their will. And if they say, I don't feel comfortable by something, then I firmly respect that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's like, that's where the trust comes into play, because I do feel like if you've taken the time to build that trust, then all of us are more willing to take those creative risks and be vulnerable.
Wow. I love how in touch you are with like the human element of the production process of just like reading the artists and guiding them.
We're all
and being
human,
their
right?
guru.
Like, we have to, and we are so lucky to have the choice to do this as a living. Like, we're choosing to do our passion for a living. So our human experience, I believe, is heavily wrapped up in that identity as an artist, and you can't separate the two.